first love was fantasy books. My dad would read us the Chronicles of Narnia every winter, and I have vivid memories of curling up on the window ledge with a big bowl of mint chocolate ice cream and listening to my dad's voice read about fantastical places. So, needless to say, I still have a very soft spot for fantasy, and today I'm going to share with you my favorite young adult fantasy series. A few words on the definition. I am not including any paranormal YA that is set in modern times, as I will do a separate video on those. What we're going to talk about today are fantasies set in enchanted lands. I also didn't include the more classic fantasies like Narnia, as I mean, come on, those kind of go without saying, and I think they'll pop up on other lists, like a classic list somewhere. So without further ado, here are my favorite young adult fantasy books. These are in no particular order, as I cannot force order these. They are all wonderful in their own way, and they are all favorites of mine, and at different times I'm more fond of one than the other, but that order never stays the same for long. So here are my favorite YA fantasy books in no particular order. Graceling by Kristen Kishori. I think Graceling is the book that made me go, oh my god, this YA fantasy thing could be amazing. And while there are a lot more YA fantasy books now, I feel like it's still one of the more underserved YA genres. In other words, I could use a lot more really great YA fantasy like Graceling, which is a hint to all the authors of the world out there. Okay, so in this book, there's special people born with special gifts. Kat's special gift is killing, and she is forced to work for the king. Then she meets Prince Po, who's graced with combat skills. I know the synopsis sounds sort of similar to the later series Throne of Glass, but it's different. And I love it! There are 3 books in the series. I adore all of them. The last one was released in 2012, so the entire series is out there ready for you to read. Go enjoy the best! And it's been 4 years, and we still don't have another Kristen Kishori book. Though she does say that she's working on it. I am dying here. I need another Kristen Kishori book. Graceling is one of my favorite series ever, and if she can continue that quality of work, she'll be one of my all-time favorite authors. The Enchanted Forest Chronicles by Patricia Reed. This is a comedy fantasy of the best kind. They were published in the 90s. These books were some of my favorites in my teen years. I've read them all several times. They're spoofs on traditional fairy tales. In the first one, the princess takes a job as a librarian for a dragon and is quite put out by all the idiotic knights and princes that keep trying to rescue her from a job she really loves. So it's good tongue-in-cheek poking at fantasy tropes, but also the love stories in these are perfect. So it's like the complete package for me. I really cannot recommend this series highly enough. Brightly Woven by Alexandra Bracken. This is the first Alexandra Bracken book I ever read, and I was immediately head over heels and begging for more. And I'm a little bit sad she went the dystopian route next, as I really wanted more fantasy from her. I won't give away too much of the plot. I'll just say that a wizard comes to a small village looking for an assistant, and Sidel is eager to travel and just to see more. This had the right mix of tension for me. I really like this one, and I'm kind of sad it's not part of a series. Poison Study by Maria V. Snyder. This is about a girl who is about to be executed, but is spared on the condition she becomes the poison tester for the king. She cannot escape because the head of security has proactively poisoned her, and if she doesn't get the daily antidote, she'll die. That same head of security ends up being the love interest, which gives everything a nice dark edge to it. It's not a fluffy YA book, for sure. I just love the mood of this book. It's deliciously morbid. Now, I like some of the other books in the series, but they never really recapture that lovely mood, and they're more just normal YA books. But I come back to this first one over and over again. Finally, Ella Enchanted by Gail Carson Levine. This was published back in the 90s when it would have still probably been considered children's fiction, but it's really YA. It's one of my favorite retellings of Cinderella. The twist is that the reason she's such a goody-goody is that she's been given the quote-unquote blessing of obedience, so she has to do anything anyone tells her to do. It's an interesting take on the fairy tale, and I think it's held up well over the years. Have you read any of these? What did you think? What would make your list of favorite YA fantasy books?